Hello, I'm James Anderson, and welcome to Montgomery's Kitchen here at Bell's Meat and Poultry in Kane, PA. Today we're making some buttermilk fried chicken sandwiches. Also, we're going to be making two different flavors, the buffalo chicken and then like a garlic butter and parmesan. And to make the garlic butter, all you're going to need is 3 cloves of garlic, a little bit of parsley, and a room temperature stick of butter. You can use a kitchen knife to chop up your garlic or a garlic press. It makes it a little easier to use, maybe a little more to clean, but you can pick these things up at like Amazon or your local grocery store. They're real convenient to use, makes it easy to chop up some garlic in a hurry. Now, once you get 3 cloves of garlic done up, you're just going to add a little bit of salt, and that's gonna act as kind of like a grinder. It's going to add some friction. So this makes this garlic into a paste. So you want to kind of push it all into a pile and use the flat of your knife to kind of drag it back and forth so that it like emulsifies and makes a really nice paste, because we want this to blend in really well with our butter and our parsley. Next up, we're going to start cleaning our parsley. You want to take the major stems out of here. It doesn't really work in well with the butter and garlic and stuff, you don't want to chew on that later when your recipe's almost done. So start taking the stems out of there, and then we're going to chop this up. You want to bunch it up pretty well, and you'll find a couple stems that you missed, so don't worry too much about it, but just keep chopping. You want this to be nice little pieces so it's going to blend together really well with the rest of it. Now that we've picked out all the seeds and stems and chopped this up really nice, I used about half of all the parsley that I had from before. You want about a cup, with a stick of butter and the garlic, it'll blend really well. You won't have too much. Now I just need a wooden spoon, which I misplaced. One of these days I'll be organized, I promise. Now that we've got our wooden spoon, we can start mashing this together. You can use, a whisk or a food processor. That'll really speed things up. It helps to blend all this a lot more evenly, and then you can just let it go on its own account. But take a couple minutes and mash it up by hand. I think you get a better flavor out of it, and you get less to clean. And after a few moments, when you got this all blended together pretty well, should look something like this. Suspense. It almost looks like a spinach artichoke dip or something like that, but it smells amazing. Now, you want to have a piece of saran wrap down on a cutting board or your working surface, wherever you're cooking at, and then we're just going to set that in the middle there, and we're going to use the saran wrap to roll it up like a doobie, if you will. And then we're just going to kind of form this so later on it makes it easier to cut, and we're going to use like small pieces to throw in a skillet to melt. So roll it up nice and tight, and then we're going to just throw this in the fridge for a while. Alright, the last little bit of prep work we have to do is actually get our chicken. So these pieces are a little big. I'm just going to fillet these right in half, and take your time doing this, with a sharp knife, and you want to try and have your blade parallel with where you're cutting on, and definitely under your hand. It wouldn't be very hard to do to cut up and cut yourself, but take your time, go slow, and you should get, quite a few nice even pieces of chicken here. I'm trying to go for like a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch cut, and once we achieve that, we're going to throw all of these chicken breasts into the bag. And the bag's going to come in handy later, because we're going to use a meat tenderizer, like one of them hammers, and it'll just keep it from making a big mess, So we're going to spread these out nice and even, and then we can hit all these at once. Get out your hammer and beat your meat. And it's important to really beat the hell out of it. You wanna just let her have it. Get both sides, and make sure it's all evenly beat up, and that's gonna help later, because we're gonna be soaking this in buttermilk. So make sure it's all beat to shit. Good job. Alright, well, we're done beating our meat, so we gotta get our cutting block out of the table. It's time for the marinade. I got some low-fat cultured buttermilk here, and Mrs. Wage's ranch seasoning packet makes excellent ranch dressing and a really good ranch dip mix. But pour the entire quart of buttermilk into a pretty decent sized bowl. You can use a bag if you trust them to be waterproof or leak proof. You don't want that flying all over the kitchen. And then we're gonna just add our ranch seasoning to it and whisk this up really good. It only takes a minute. Make sure it gets blended really well. Once you have your marinade ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and take and cut our chicken into portion-sized pieces. Something that'll fit on a hamburger bun, or if you're using a hoagie roll, this would be plenty. You wouldn't even have to worry about cutting these down at all. We're saying that you can also make like chicken tenders out of this, and that wouldn't be too difficult to do. Just cut this into strips instead of leaving them in big whole pieces. Now we're just gonna go ahead and throw this right in our buttermilk marinade. You could also use this marinade if you were just doing like chicken pieces, chicken legs. I don't know about a whole fryer, but hey, what the hell. Now we got our chicken all marinated. We're gonna let this sit for overnight. 24 hours later. Now it's time for our chicken to cook. It's sauce time. We're gonna make our buffalo wing sauce. It takes half a stick of butter, and then we're gonna use a cup of Frank's Red Hot. We're gonna get that under a low heat until the butter melts into the Frank's Red, and using a tiny whisk and a little saucepan, we're gonna get that ripping. Now that everything's been blended together pretty well, we're gonna give that one last stir, remove from heat. And now onto our chicken. It's been soaking beautifully overnight. We're gonna work on a breading here. So what you're gonna need is 2 cups of flour, unenriched, any flour will do really. And then we're gonna use some of our Creole seasoning salt from Oak Grove Smokehouse. These guys are from Louisiana. They make the best stuff. But it's just a good blend, salt, pepper. You're gonna wanna mix that in with your flour a little bit, so each piece of chicken gets a little bit of salt and pepper. Don't know if I mentioned it or not, but buttermilk, on top of being kind of our wet mix to add into the flour, it also like tenderizes chicken just because it's not nearly as acidic as like orange, lemon, and it does it at such a slower rate, and actually, gives it some good flavor. You can use buttermilk on fish, pork, anything really. But all right, now we're gonna take our chicken pieces out of the wet marinade, the soak, and we're gonna add it to the flour, and we're gonna make sure it gets covered really well, all pieces. Once you get it all done, we're gonna have a cast iron skillet going under like a medium heat. I have it like about quarter of the way filled with some oil. We're using vegetable oil here, but peanut oil works fine. That skewer there was just to show that it's ready. A wooden skewer dipped into the hot oil will actually start to bubble when it's time to cook. So we're gonna throw our chicken pieces in here and let these go for about 7-8 minutes. Meanwhile, we're gonna take some of our butter from the day before, and we're gonna throw this in our electric skillet, and we're gonna put that on like a warm heat, really low heat. We just want that to melt. And now our time's up on our chicken. We're gonna give her a flip. It's looking good. Look at that golden brown crust. It's gonna be excellent. You could also use a deep fryer if you would like to. I know not everybody has them, but they also make this really nice so everything cooks real even. We're gonna give it, our last flip and take a look at these nice golden brown, a little crunchy on the outside. Can't beat it. Now we're gonna take one piece and we're gonna add that to our garlic butter and parsley mix. And what you want to do is just take a nice little plastic spoon, and we're gonna scoop some of this up on top of it and kind of base the entire thing in it. We want that butter to go everywhere. We want garlic all throughout it. Really adds to the flavor. You can give this a flip a couple times, and I used about half of the butter we made for this. There was plenty there. You can do all your sandwiches with this. Just excellent. And then, I might try this on something else, some like shrimp or something. That'd be excellent, I think. You know, just had such a great flavor and smell to it, aroma. And then for our buffalo chicken, all you want to do really is you can add the sauce to a bowl and then just dump that over your chicken breast, or you know, right here, just going right for the throat, just threw it right in the saucepan. Alright, now the bulk of our work is done, it's just time to dress these chicks up and take them to town. Went with like a little bit of Parmesan cheese. You can add your favorite sauce, a little blue cheese, some ranch on this one. The buffalo chicken, you have to go ranch. Even some blue cheese. A lot of times I'll add some sliced pickles. It's always good too. But a little bit of lettuce, can't go wrong. Pretty simple and easy to eat and delicious. You can always toast the bun too. But I don't know, I was just too hungry and I couldn't wait any longer.
Hey folks, thanks for watching the episode. I got 2 delicious sandwiches here. I got both soaked in buttermilk. The garlic parmesan sandwich is looking awesome. We also have the Frank's Red Hot like buffalo chicken wings with ranch on it. They're excellent too. I like to call myself a big fan, but I feel like I needed to get a professional opinion on this one, so I called in an expert. Help me introduce my bro and world famous buffalo chicken sandwich connoisseur, Patrick Anderson.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Holy smokes, this looks fantastic.
No, it's gonna be good stuff.
When Montgomery's Kitchen comes a calling, you gotta answer it. I think we should try these things out.
Let's dig in.
Yeah. Wow.
Holy crap. Wow. Holy shit. That's beautiful. Nice and juicy, not dry at all. Those flavors are amazing.
Yep.
That was a buffalo wing sandwich.
I tell you what, the Frank's Red, oh man, it just soaked right into the chicken, the breading. Wow.
Hey,
phenomenal.
We got an A+ from the man himself, Patrick Anderson. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate all the support you guys are giving me and love making these videos. If you try the recipe, let me know how it turned out for you. And we'll see you again next week. Till then, bon appetit. Oh.